This is the Horse Radio Network.
This is episode 1146 of Horse Tip Daily, your almost everyday morsel of helpful hints, useful facts, and practical techniques for horse folks. Brought to you today by Ecovet Fly Repellent. Greetings, everyone. Coach Jen here, and thanks for tuning in to Horse Tip Daily. Today, we're going to take a cue from the Horses in the Morning show and cover a short list of lists that every barn should have on hand, and we'll get right to our tip after this from Ecovet Fly Repellent. Wouldn't it be wonderful if your horse could enjoy a zone of repellency from pesky flies? Well, he can with Ecovet. Ecovet is an entirely new type of fly repellent that is safe for horses and those applying it, offering a real alternative to toxic pesticides like pyrethrins. Ecovet confuses an insect's normal directional ability, the bug's GPS, if you will. So if it can't locate your horse, it can't bite your horse. Dr. Wendy Ying from the Driving Radio Show has been using it in South Florida, also known as the Jurassic Park of biting insects, and she just loves it. Ecovet's active ingredients are naturally occurring food-grade fatty acids that have been clinically shown to improve the condition of horses with difficult-to-treat sweet itch problems. Ecovet is effective on mosquitoes, ticks, no-see-ums, as well as flies. You can visit Ecovet online at eco-vet.com for more information or to order. You can find Ecovet at Dover Saddlery Stores and Ecovet's on Facebook. Just search Ecovet, E-C-O-V-E-T.
So what do we have for people today?
Essential lists for the barn.
Essential lists for the barn.
Yes.
Okay.
As you know, I am a list maker.
Yes, she is definitely a list maker, which drives my ADD absolutely insane.
Well, you make lists too. You just can't find them
I
once
just
you've made
can't
them.
find them, nor do I ever follow them.
No.
So
Pretty much. So what do we got? There's two essential lists that I think everybody should have in the barn. One is your shopping list. Have been in horsey retail for a number of years now, and the frustration on folks' faces when they come into the tack shop and they remember they need to get three things. So they walk through the tack shop and they find those three things, and then they stand there twitching because they know they have a riding lesson in 15 minutes, or sweating on the brow because they have a horse show in 2 days and they know they need something else. And we're all busy multitasking and we're all busy running 10 different directions at once. So essential list number one is put a dry erase board, a legal pad, a chalkboard, the back of a paper shopping bag, something in your public grooming area in your barn, and a writing utensil that is permanently attached to it, so that when you're in there, and let's face it, most things we run out of are grooming supplies, something that we're going to be using in the grooming stall. When you pick up the bottle of shampoo and you know that there's a 1/4 of an inch left and you're going to set it back down, write shampoo on whatever you're using for a list, so that when it is time to make a jaunt to the store, you can run out and either drag that paper bag with you or put it onto another piece of paper that's easier to carry, and have something close to a complete list of what you ran out of. The other list you have should be, if you have a feed room / office that you use, put another one in there. You're running out of a supplement that only one horse gets, and boy, it's getting low. Write it on there. And that way, again, you can consolidate when you either make your call for delivery, because a lot of us have our products delivered to our farms either through an online company that we work with, or we have our local stores make deliveries. When you make that phone call, again, you've got it all right there in front of you. Scratch it off the list when you've ordered it, and then you're good to go. And the other important list that you want to have is for your show trunks. Everybody's got that big box that you take to the horse shows with you. And this is something I learned way back when I worked for Jane Sleeper, Event Rider, is inside the lid of your tack trunk, write on that list what's supposed to be in the tack trunk. That way, whatever human being has the time to restock the trunk before the next competition rolls around. It can even be your horse husband. All he has to do
It's usually your horse husband.
All you have to do is look at that list, and you know what you should find in there. You should be finding 2 sets of open front boots and 1 pair of extra socks, 1 handful of hairnets, whatever it is. Now, I took it so far as to write. I actually had a map on mine, so that the top shelf left corner, you could see what was supposed to be in there.
There's a word that comes to mind, but we won't say it. Now, it is true, because a lot of the professional eventers, you'll see them at the shows, and when you see the open lids of the tack trunks, they all seem to have are going that route now. And I know that I've heard that from a few of the grooms too. And what they'll do is they'll take that list and they'll put it in one of those plastic sleeves you get for at the office supply store, and they'll tape that in there so it doesn't get trashed. And
it's also very handy. Ziploc bag comes to mind there. You can tape it up. When you do run out of something, you can grab the list and run up to the tack store that's going to be at your competition and say, I need this one. So again, it's just really handy for reducing that stress of, oh my God, we ran out of.
I think the biggest tip there is to tape it to the inside of the tack trunk. I think people try and do the list, and then the list gets lost, and it's like you can't find the list when you're running out to go to the show, and it's 4 a.m. and everybody's all in a huff because the coffee wasn't made and it was burnt. Then you could, it's just right there on the inside of the cover.
Tape it to the trunk.
And each trunk gets their own.
Each trunk can get just slap it up there with some duct tape.
And that includes your medical trunk. Your emergency medical trunk should have its own list. And double check it before you leave for the show so that you make sure you have everything in there. Even if you think you didn't use it, it's amazing who stole stuff out of it during the week.
Absolutely.
All right, those are great tips on lists, making of lists, and keeping the list taped to the inside of your trunk before you go to that show, or even trail riding, for that matter.
That's right.
Doesn't matter if you're transporting the horse from home, you're going to have a trunk of some sort.
Well, there you have it. You can find links to today's topics and lots more tips at horsetipdaily.com. This podcast was made possible through the generous support of Ecovet Fly Repellent and listeners like you. Learn how you can help support Horse Radio Network programming and qualify for auditors-only perks by going to horsetipdaily.com and clicking on the Become an Auditor banner in the center of the page. This is Coach Jen, and I'll be back soon with another tip. So until then, go ride your horse. The Horse Radio Network and the Horse Radio Network hosts are not responsible for statements of guests or their opinions. Use your own judgment when listening to the tips provided by the experts on Horse Tip Daily.